It's all right now, thank you.
She seems to be okay.
God, someone's going to pay for this.
This horse could have caused a serious accident.
I don't think you understand. Someone wants to stop this horse competing in the Mount Thomas Challenge. This was sabotage.
Vandenberg, don't you think you're overreacting just a little bit?
The horse didn't get out by itself.
Or maybe you left the door open by mistake.
I don't make that kind of mistake.
Well, perhaps it was somebody else, or some kids maybe, or that young woman you were with.
Excuse me, I take it you're in charge?
That's right.
That horse is worth a small fortune. I want this matter fully investigated.
Well, I'd be happy to oblige, Mr. Vandenberg. Just give us something to investigate.
There was another incident this morning. I found some broken glass in the mare's stable. Fortunately, she hadn't damaged herself, but that's not the point.
Right, McKinley, you better get up to the stable, take a look around.
Fine, I'll meet you there.
Mind if I go with the boss, check things out?
It's not a CIB matter at this stage,
Well, there's no harm in a bit of proactive police work, is there?
Proactive police work?
All our riders are reminded there will be another briefing at the Imperial Hotel this evening, outlining the course of Morris Road. Any competitors wanting to have their photograph taken as a memento of this event are requested to assemble at the main checkpoint.
Oh, well, so one thing for these horse people, they must have amazing sex lives.
I'm sorry it took so long. It was right at the bottom of the bin.
Yep, that's broken glass, all right.
You said you found it in the stable.
Yes, it was in that corner.
What time?
About 11. I put down fresh straw at 10 when we arrived. It definitely wasn't here then.
So we need to speak to anybody who was here between 10 and 11.
Who drinks light ale, stubbies. Know anyone who fits that description, Mr. Vandenberg?
Yes, I do, as a matter of fact. Tanya Graham.
Another competitor.
Her horse is next door. It's just the sort of stunt she'd pull. I want her charged before she tries anything else.
Tanya Graham? Isn't she the girl who won the All-Boss Quilty a couple of years back?
Quilty, that's a bit like a Dooney, is it?
The Quilty just happens to be Australia's most prestigious endurance race.
Oh, well, there you
How'd
go.
you know that, boss?
Oh, I've become quite an expert on endurance lately, Cooper.
Yeah, well, my mum says all they talk about at Rotary ever since they decided to co-host that stupid race with the riding club.
What's your next move?
I'll have a chat with Tanya Graham and, depending on what she says, decide whether to print the glass.
Well, if she's a saboteur, a visit from the police might stop her from trying anything else.
Let's go, McKinley.
I'd just like to remind you all that this is an endurance race, so the horse's condition, blood pressure and pulse all contribute to the result. It's not just first class.
Yes, is Tanya Graham here? Not just now.
So
She's staying
weigh
here.
in
Yeah, they're all staying here. Maybe we should try stables.
No, she's bound to show. Oh, hello again.
Detective Kowalski.
Call me Johnny.
Same again, please.
So tell me, what's a girl like you doing bashing around the bush?
We all have to get our fun somehow. What do you do for it?
He collects rocks.
Rocks.
Yeah, there's no accounting for taste, I always say. Look, Miss Vandenberg, we actually came in to see Tanya Graham, but now that we've got you, do you think she's behind these incidents with your horse?
Couldn't be anyone else.
Well, why not?
Well, she's always hated me. Ever since we were kids doing the rounds of the local shows. My ponies always did really well.
Yeah, but she's making a name for herself on the endurance circuits.
So am I. That's the problem. We've both been shortlisted for the international team. So whoever wins this one...
I'd love to hear more about your riding sometime, so perhaps
I
we
don't
could...
think so.
Well, you don't need Daddy's permission, do you?
Sorry, darling, the vet took his time.
Is Belle okay?
No ill effects as far as he can tell. Shouldn't we be in on this?
80 k's per day through some of the tests today.
That's Tanya now.
Ah, Tanya.
Oh, here we go again.
This has got to be a joke.
Well, the Vandenbergs are taking it very seriously.
We have to check out all complaints, you understand. Where are you from?
Benalla.
You arrived this morning.
Yep, about 10.
Fair enough.
Miss Graham, do you drink?
Yes, light ale, stubbies. And I did notice that someone has been into my supply, but I do not go around chucking my empties into stables for horses to cut themselves on. No matter how I feel about their owners.
You and Kirsten don't get along, I take it.
Oh, the competition's pretty intense.
I'd say you hold your own very well.
Thank you.
So you're at the stables all day?
Yeah, most of the day. I was just hanging around, getting organised. Harry takes a while to settle into a strange place.
Is that a Harry with 4 legs or 2?
4. Unlike some people, I don't have a rich, doting husband to buy me expensive horses and follow me around the endurance circuit.
Well, that could have its advantages.
Yeah, I guess it could. Oh, I really better be getting back to my horse.
Did you forget to pack your dooney?
No, I just don't want to leave him on his own tonight, just in case there's some horse-hating crank on the loose.
Well, we're just about finished here in any case.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Graham.
Okay.
Are you coming?
No, Constable. I'm off duty. Thank you.
I mean, what do you have to do to make him understand? Should we put a sign over his head that says, I treat all women as sex objects?
No, because they probably wouldn't notice. They're too busy gazing into his baby blue.
Well, you see, Kirsten, yes. She seems to be your typical helpless female, but Tanya Graham, I thought she'd be smarter than that.
And since when did Smart offer any protection from someone like Kowalski McKinley?
Yes, well, I catch colds too, but I get over them.
How'd you get on with Tanya Graham?
I don't think there's anything to worry about there. She seems to be in the clear.
A decision based on good police work rather than gut instinct, don't you?
Well, what's wrong with the gut instinct?
Absolutely nothing. As long as it's right. Where's Kowalski? Well?
I guess you could say that he's on the job, so to speak.
On the job. Where?
I'm not sure exactly, but he did say not to expect him back at work tonight.
I suppose I shouldn't complain as long as he gets results.
Oh, boss, I'm sure that's the one thing we can count on with Kowalski is results.
You do realise that we have a constable on call?
Yes, I know. I rang him to get your number.
All right, Mr. Vandenberg. Explain to me what's so important about a hoof pick that we have to deal with this early in the morning.
I found it in Southern Bell's stable.
Must be a fairly common object. You sure it doesn't belong to your wife?
Kirsten has a mania for putting her initials on everything. I don't remember seeing her initials on this.
But you're sure that it belongs to Tanya Graham?
Well, who else's would it be? She must have dropped it when she was planting the glass.
Why didn't you mention any of this to Detective Constable Kowalski?
I picked it up and threw it away. That was long before I found the glass. I never connected the two.
Until 4 o'clock this morning.
Oh, you know how it is. You're worried about something, you can't sleep, you go over it in your mind, and suddenly it all clicks into place.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It was right in here.
Something wrong?
No, I'm fine.
Look, Mr. Vandenberg, as early as it is, I haven't got all day.
Sorry, I'll get the hoof pick.
Sorry, I didn't realise. Of all the brainless, irresponsible... Have you got any idea of the embarrassing position you put the police force in?
Oh, look, I'm sorry, but how was I to know that you're about
Improper conduct? Diminished public confidence? Disgraceful or improper conduct? That's just for starters. Yeah, I'm well aware of your reputation as a lady killer, Kowalski, and so far I've turned a blind eye. But I was suffering from the delusion that you might have enough sense to keep your pants on while you're on a case. Do I have to remind you that Tanya Graham is under investigation?
Oh, you don't seriously think she's got a case to answer, do you?
Mr. Vandenberg is a very influential man. Now, if you want to compromise your career for the sake of adding another notch to your belt, that's one thing. But when you involve the good name of the force...
Oh, come on, boss, you know how it is. She was keen, I'm off duty, I'll probably never even see her again.
We got that part right. I'm taking you off the case.
You can't do that.
One phone call to the DDI can do that. Now, get out of my sight.
Don't panic, Celia. I'm sure he's going to be there.
And have a shower. Use plenty of carbolic. You smell like a bun.
Hey, mate, what's this? Been having a roll on the hay. Half your luck. Hey, boss.
What?
There's an urgent message from Celia Donald. Where are you?
Oh, God, what time is it?
And he's off. He's moving very quickly,
shut up.
very swiftly. Lovely movement from the favourite.
All right, riders, take your marks. Bring him up, number 16. Settle, number 7. All right, ready. Set. Go!
Morning, Tom. What happened sleep in, did we?
No, not exactly.
Thanks. Well, we had to start the first lot without you.
Well, I'm sorry, but something came up.
Oh, never mind, we managed.
Celia, I need to talk to you.
Later, David.
It's important.
So is getting some marshals up on the highway before those riders come through. Oh, Tom, I could use a few more. Could you spare any of your people?
I'll see what I can do, Celia.
Thanks.
Anything I can do to help you, Dave?
Well, I'd rather talk to the president, but race money. It's gone missing. Checks cash the lot.
That's awful. How much?
About 3,500 all up. Entry fees, sponsorships, donations, prize money, the works.
So the Save the Children's Fund's going to miss out in a big way, then?
Yeah, it's a bit low, isn't it? But the problem is there's all these horsey endurance people. It's crawling with them. It could have been any one of them.
Well,
at
the
all.
same thought occurred to me, so...
What's that?
Names and addresses. Organisers, competitors, riding club members, even the caterers rate a mention. David's very efficient. Run them through the computer, will you?
Well, all of them.
All except Tanya Graham. Seeing as how we can account for her movements between 11 last night and 6 this morning, which is when David reckons the thieves got in. So I suppose I can hand that one on to you, Kowalski.
Yeah, I'll get onto it.
Give it priority. You too, Nick. McKinley, you go too. Keep an eye on him.
Oh, what, Johnny, you mean?
No, the Archbishop of Canterbury. Who do you think? Is that a problem?
No, well, it's just that...
Well, boss, Dash was going to give me a hand delivering
Just stock at the store.
Well, stock taking and then delivering some
Yeah, we've been
summonses to
trying to do it for
All
ages
right.
now.
Cooper, you can go with Johnny. Unless, of course, you've got an urgent chore, like cleaning the toilets.
No, boss.
Good. Doyle, McKinley, a word. A few straight questions, and I'd like some straight answers. Has Kowalski been harassing you?
Harassing us? How?
Has he been trying to force his attentions onto you?
Well, boss, I wouldn't say he's been doing exactly that, would you?
Oh, no, I wouldn't call
Some
it that.
straight answers, I said.
Oh, we're trying, but... What are you getting at?
What I'm referring to, well, these days they refer to it as sexual harassment. Has he been putting the hard word on either of you? Because neither of you seem too keen to work with him, and if there's a reason for it... Look, what Johnny does outside the workplace, that's one thing. But if I thought for 1 minute he was giving either of you a hard time, I would take his libido and wrap it round his neck.
Boss, thank you, but with all due respect, we can look after ourselves, can't we?
Yeah, we can. And thanks anyway.
All right, then we better get back to this, the
stock take.
The stock room can wait. Celia, shy a couple of race marshals.
Marshalling, oh, come on, boss, we haven't really got
Close the
time.
door on your way out.
Well, I just hope there's not a major crime wave in Mount Thomas while its police officers are off running around chasing a bunch of hyperactive loonies on horseback.
Just remember, one of these hyperactive loonies has already made 2 attempts to nobble the Vandenberg horse. That's why I want you out there.
Let's go.
And close the door.
Any damage done to the office?
No. They certainly seemed to know what they were looking for.
And where to find it? Any sign of forced entry?
No.
So whoever did it had a key, unless you forgot to lock up.
Of course not.
Gone by 11 o'clock. Busy day. You must have been whacked.
I locked the door. It was still locked when I got back this morning.
How many people have keys, Mr. Lawrence?
Just one. Until last week, that is.
Oh, yes. And what happened last week?
The president asked for one. She was most insistent. Said she wanted to be able to get in and out during the races. Well,
And who is the president of the Mount Thomas Riding Club, Mr. Lawrence?
Celia. Celia Donald.
Celia may be a lot of things, but she is no thief.
Well, her and David Lawrence are the only two with keys.
Then they must have got in some other way.
I'm afraid not, unless they can walk through walls.
The money was well hidden. Celia was the only person who knew where.
Not Celia, surely.
She's our only lead so far.
Nick, it's Maggie. Put the boss on, we've got a problem.
Get that? Doyle wants to have a chat to you.
Yes, Maggie.
Boss, we're at the 20k checkpoint with Celia. We've got an overdue rider.
Any idea which one?
There's a fair bit of confusion here, but it looks like it's Kirsten Vandenberg.
Hey, Maggie, there's a fire trail through there. Oh, it's pretty overgrown. We'll never get the 4-wheel drive through. Yeah, right. Hey, Celia, can I borrow your horse? And can you line one up for Maggie? No,
I forget it. Last time I got on a horse, it threw me in a dam. I think one person missing presumed injured's quite enough, thanks.
Look, I'm sure there's no need to panic. It's probably something perfectly simple. A car shoe, a broken bridle.
Better to be safe than sorry.
You can ride, can't you?
It's been a while, but I like the challenge. Thank you.
Hey, no, hang on. Celia, is this a missing rider?
No, that's number 19, Kirsten Vandenberg. Well, she started in the second lot. She's making excellent time.
Well, who's missing then?
Number 9, I think. Yes. Number 9, Tanya Graham.
Come on.
All right, Maggie, I'll be right out. Back to Channel 8.
So it wasn't a mysterious horse vandal in action again?
No, I'd love to know what's going on. Why can't Celia stick to Lamington Drives and tin shapes?
No plans to make the Mount Thomas Challenge an annual event then?
Oh, over my dead body.
Good-o. Forte, Frank.
McKinley, what the hell do you think you're playing at? We've got a girl missing, you're out
We
joyriding.
couldn't get the four-wheel drive and she had to go out.
Someone had to go back over the trail.
Oh, and that someone just had to be you.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a joyride, let me tell you that much.
Did you find her?
No, there's nothing.
She's either seriously lost, seriously injured, or both.
And I tell you what, she's going to take some fighting on that trail.
Yeah, well, I'll get on the SES. Doyle, you round up as many of those riders as you can.
Guys, you come in here,
McKinley, you can lead the Mounties back in.
What, right again?
Or someone has to do it. Keep me posted. You keep me posted too, Doyle.
Yeah, right, okay.
All right, Hocking's not recorded. Who's next?
Who's next?
Yeah.
Hooper's next.
Hooper.
Captain Jeanette from Shepparton.
How's it going?
Nothing as yet, I reckon. These horsey people seem to be a remarkably boring and law-abiding bunch.
Which brings us right back to Celia Donald. Reckon we catch her at the stables?
Well, I don't think you'll catch anything there, mate, because I think they're all out looking for your girlfriend.
Oh, yeah? And which girlfriend would that be?
Oh.
Tanya Graham? She went missing in the race.
Oh, good for her. Gee, they always put too much beetroot in these things. It
Johnny,
drives me...
don't let Tanya's disappearance upset you too much, mate.
Yeah, so I was thinking maybe we should forget about the money and get out there and give them a hand.
Is that what Tom said?
No, but I think they'd be glad of the help, don't you?
Well, we're at a dead end with this money thing to track down Celia Donald. Anyone for coffee?
Tanya! 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 Tanya!
Fan out from the pine plantation and head west. Head down into the Wattle Creek area.
What's happening with that backhoe?
Keep your lid on, McKinley. It's coming. Doyle, did you get that?
Thanks, boss.
Mount Thomas Station back on channel.
What's happening up there?
Not a lot without the SES and the police chopper.
Well, I reckon they're pretty busy there, boss.
Well, put a bomb under them, will you?
Well done. 4 hours 16. Personal best. That's fantastic.
Congratulations, Mrs. Vandenberg.
Thank you.
No accounting for taste, is there?
Well, everyone's looking for something different, I suppose, mate.
Detective Kowalski.
Yes.
I just heard. Have you found her?
No, not yet.
Can I help with the search?
That'd be great.
I think we better leave that up to the experts. It's been a long day. You look worn out.
I should have stopped. I could see she was having trouble.
You saw Tanya?
I passed her on the trail.
In the vicinity of Dingo Gully, that's about 8 k's in on the trail.
Tanya!
Tumble, according to Mrs. Vandenberg, the horses all
Tanya! Oh, dash down here. Just take it easy, take it easy.
Hurry.
We've located Tanya Graham, Tom. She doesn't seem too badly hurt, but she should be checked out properly.
Agreed. You try and get her to the head of the trail. I'll organise an ambulance to meet you there.
We haven't managed to find Tanya's horse yet.
McKinley, just leave the damn horse to the others, will you? Just make sure you get Tanya safely to the ambulance.
Come on, mate. Tanya, he's probably headed back towards the stable.
No, he was very distressed.
We'll find him. We've got to get you to a hospital.
No, I have to find my horse.
Tanya, come on.
Hey, I found it. He's over here. Hurry.
Tanya!
Tanya! Take it easy. Careful.
Harry, get up, baby. Come on. Harry, get up. Come on.
We're going to need a bit. Adam?
Horse is unable to rise, sweating profusely, writhing. It's got a swollen stomach.
Celia thinks it might be colic. Any external injuries?
No, but it can't get up and it's in a lot of pain.
It must have twisted its gut, poor devil.
Yeah, that's what Celia thinks.
How soon can you get out here? Not soon enough, mate. That animal must be in agony.
Well, what do you want us to do?
The only thing you can do, Constable.
No, he's in terrible pain, Tanya. Look at him.
Come on, Tanya, it's not fair to let him suffer anymore.
Call Dr. Williams again. I want him out here.
Tanya, it is too late. Harry is dying. I know it's your horse, it's your decision, but don't make it too difficult for both your sakes, all right?
I can't do it.
You don't have to. You just give the word.
Morning, Doyle, McKinley.
Morning.
Step in a moment, would you please?
I don't understand. Babies just get colic out of the blue, so why not horses?
There's always a reason for these things. That's been on my mind half the night.
Now, Richard thinks that Tanya's too experienced a horsewoman to let her horse get colic.
Doctor, what causes the colic in the horses?
Obstruction of the gut, often from eating something it shouldn't have.
And how long does it take for the symptoms to show up?
6 to 8 hours, sometimes a little less.
And as nothing showed up in the vet test, we have to assume the horse was fed something unsuitable in the small hours of the morning.
But not by Tanya.
There's been other incidents, I understand. Thought I should mention it.
Yes, we're very glad you did.
OK, we're going back to the track. Oh, how is Tanya? Have you heard?
Yeah, slight concussion, but nothing major. The hospital's letting her go today.
Lucky girl. Maybe not. Harry's going to be hard to replace.
Yeah. Oh, Dr. Williams, will you be doing an autopsy?
Yeah, of course. The insurance company requires one.
Great, wouldn't mind a copy of the report.
Get it to you as soon as I can.
Thanks, Dr. Williams.
What's going on?
Seems there's a saboteur in our midst after all.
And your gut instincts were right about Tanya. Dr. Williams thinks that a horse was nobbled.
Well, I thought she was a nobbler.
I never said that.
The Vandenberg certainly think so, and there is the matter of circumstantial evidence.
Circumstantial being the operative word. Why would she nobble her own horse?
Oh, well, maybe it was payback.
No, not Kirsten. It's got to be him.
Well, what does it have to be Tanya or the Vandenbergs? I mean, why can't there be a lunatic who doesn't like horses running around?
And yeah, with colic, but this is only like broken glass and stable doors. It's kid stuff.
OK, so we discount the Vandenberg incidents as coincidence. We're still left with one nobbling attempt and successful
If it was nobbling, didn't you hear what Dr. Williams said about insurance?
She loved that horse, Kowalski.
What's love got to do with cold
Because
hard
you
cash?
saw how upset she was, didn't you?
So she turned on the waterworks. Wouldn't be the first woman to do that in my experience.
I wonder what they see in you, all these women of your vast experience.
Well, don't take my word for it. Just go and have a chat with the insurance companies.
What's happening about this missing money?
Not a lot.
We got a bit sidetracked yesterday.
Any leads?
Only Celia Donald. And you dismissed her out of hand.
Yes, well, personal opinion's got nothing to do with good police work. That goes for all of you. So get on with it.
I only found out about the theft this morning. David didn't say a word. Said I had enough to worry about yesterday. Thoughtful chappie.
You have a key to the office, Mrs. Donald.
Yeah, it's here somewhere.
Thank you. You only had it cut recently, I believe.
Yes, from David's master.
Thank you, Adam. Does anyone else on the committee have a copy?
No, David's very strict about who has access to what. Says it saves any little misunderstandings.
No one's borrowed this from you?
No.
And there's no chance somebody could have taken it without your knowledge?
No, and even if somebody did get in, they'd never have found the money. We had it very cleverly hidden in a can of hoof dressing.
Mrs. Donald, where were you between 11 p.m. on Friday and 6 a.m. on Saturday?
Oh, I was at home. You don't think I took the money, do you? Oh, do you?
Well, I reckon the boss is right. Celia's worked her butt off getting this race organised. And Save the Children's is her special charity.
Oh, there's no way, mate. Yeah, thanks. Good on
Bet you lot are thrilled Celia Donald dreamt up this endurance thing.
Well, it's kept us busy, that's for sure.
How well do you know Celia, Chris?
Oh, well enough.
She's heavily into this horse thing, isn't she? Pricey hobby.
Hobby, you'd have to be joking. It's lifetime mortgage, isn't it? I mean, the horse is just the tip of the iceberg. Then there's the gear, the top-of-the-range four-wheel drive, not to mention the float in the country estate.
But I mean, Celia can afford it. I mean, she's doing pretty well for herself.
You think so to look at her, but real estate's pretty dicey at the moment.
What, do you reckon she's in trouble?
Serious trouble from what I hear.
Sounds like Celia's special charity might be herself.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I mean, Celia is one of the biggest estate agents in town. She ought to be laughing.
Well, it's just a rumour.
Is Chris Riley usually spot on?
Yes, unfortunately. That might be worthwhile having a talk to Celia's bank manager before you do anything else, though.
Good idea.
Oh, McKinley, Doyle. Yeah, I think this might be your forensic report. So how are things up at the stables today? Fires, floods, some deadly new equine virus?
Well, actually, boss, everything's running like clockwork. Yep, between vet checks and weigh-ins, we spoke to most of the riders. No more broken glass, no bellyaches, not even a cut girth strap to complain of.
So what about this insurance theory?
Well, according to the others, the Vandenbergs are the only ones with a horse that's worth the premium. Everything else is like 1,000 or 2 apiece. I'm so hungry. The insurance companies all said much the same thing.
Tanya's horse must be worth something. It's won races all over the state.
Yeah, endurance races, not the Melbourne Cup.
So a payback attempt's our best bet.
But a payback for what? I mean, Tanya wouldn't throw broken glass into a stable. Are you looking for mild mustard and roast beef?
Forensic have found only one set of prints on that stubby, and she's admitted it was probably hers.
Yeah, well, it's all academic. The Vandenbergs think she did it.
Yeah, one Vandenberg in particular.
This is outrageous. I want to see the autopsy.
It's not available as yet, but when we do
Oh,
get it
so
in-
this accusation is based purely on speculation, is
No,
it?
it's not. Constable Doyle and I were both there when the horse was found, and we saw that it was an extreme
You've both
pain.
been around horses long enough to know colic, I take it? No, I thought not.
Sir, we aren't accusing you of anything. I'm sure when the vet's report is returned, it will confirm that the horse had colic. In the meantime, we are simply eliminating you from our inquiries.
Look, as far as I can tell, Tanya's horse was fine when I fed Southern Belle that night.
Terrific. What time was that?
I'm not sure.
Sir, I can't stress enough how important it is we know
I
the
can't
exact time.
remember.
Perhaps we should talk to Mrs. Vandenberg.
Good idea.
Mrs. Vandenberg took a sleeping pill and went to bed early that
Okay,
night.
was that
She
before
always
or
does
after midnight,
before a
sir?
race. Before, well before.
Are you sure about that?
Yes!
And you didn't go down to the stables for any other reason, say about 3 or 4 a.m.?
I didn't go back till 6. Your sergeant will confirm that.
Yeah, he has. It's a shame your wife was too out of it to give you an alibi for the rest of the night.
I don't need an alibi. My word should be enough.
Well, for now. But when the autopsy report comes in confirming colic, we'll know that Tanya's horse must have been fed around 3 a.m. And then we'll need much more than just your word for it, Mr. Vandenberg.
Actually, there was someone else.
Yeah, I saw him. It would have been about 9 o'clock.
You sure about that?
No. I'd taken my watch off.
Oh, come on, Kowalski. You'll have to do better than that.
Yeah, it would have been 9. We got there at 8:30. Vandenberg waltzed in shortly after that.
What was he doing?
Oh, filling with his horse or something. How would I know? Reading it a bedtime story? Obviously, he didn't expect us to be there. He almost jumped out of his skin when I walked.
Did he go anywhere near Tanya's horse?
No, he was pretty keen to get out of there.
Did anyone else come into the stable?
No.
Oh, how would he know? He was snoring his head off in the hay.
I'd know, believe me. Those horses kick up a hell of a racket at the slightest noise. Hardly slept a wink.
Well, that's that then.
What time did Tanya feed her horse?
She didn't. She forgot. She had more important things on her mind.
Oh, spare us the details. So you were saying that her horse didn't get fed at all?
Oh, it did eventually. She asked me to do it. She left a bucket of feed out. All I had to do was shove it through the door.
What time was that?
Oh, it was probably about 3 a.m. before she even remembered she had a horse.
Loosened chaff, oaten chaff, a handful of oats, and molasses in a hay net. It's the same feed he always gets before a big race, and it's never given him colic. Tanya, there'll be other horses. There was only one Harry. So, what makes you think that someone put something into his feed?
Well, it's possible, isn't it?
I'd have noticed when I fed him.
No, but Tanya, you didn't feed Harry that night. Johnny did.
Oh, you wouldn't know loosened chaff from rat poison.
No.
And the timing's right.
Except for one thing, Johnny didn't feed Harry.
But he says he did.
Well, I don't care what he says. He didn't do it. I did. The next day. So that bucket of feed was sitting outside the stable door right where I left it.
So, Tanya found the bucket outside here the next morning. She assumes that Johnny hasn't fed the horse. She comes in and she puts the feed in here. So then she takes the empty bucket outside. Yeah, so what does Johnny feed the horse at 3 a.m, you reckon? Whatever was in this, I'd say. So whose is that? Kirsten Vandenberg.
Mr. Vandenberg, we checked the list of competitors. The only KV in the competition is your wife.
My wife has a mania for putting her initials on everything. Your words, I believe.
I am not denying it's hers. I just strongly object to your persistent attempts to implicate me in this whole sordid business.
Well, how do you think the bucket got into the wrong stable?
Well, obviously Tanya confused them, giving the poison or whatever it was to her own horse instead.
And poetic justice, you think?
Well, perhaps if she hadn't been so preoccupied with Detective Kowalski.
There's just one little problem with that theory. Tanya didn't feed her horse. Detective Kowalski did.
Well, under those circumstances, even more reason for a mix-up, don't you think?
Well, what doesn't seem very likely to us, Mr. Vandenberg, is that Tanya would even risk such a mix-up.
Well, you'll have to talk to her about that.
Well, we have. She denies it.
Oh, naturally.
Of course, there is one other possibility. You.
Oh, come on! You know I was long gone from there before any of this could have happened. Besides, I'm hardly stupid enough to incriminate myself with this.
No, I guess not, but maybe you didn't mean that bucket for Tanya's horse. Maybe you meant it for your wife's horse.
Maybe you knew that Tanya was staying at the stables that night. Maybe part of the plan. What you didn't count of was Detective Kowalski being there too.
So you went down to feed Southern Belle, but when you saw Detective Kowalski, you freaked. You waited until he was otherwise occupied, left the bucket hanging on the stable door, thinking the horse would feed itself. Which is what Detective Kowalski found when he went to feed Tanya's horse.
It was the first bucket he saw, but unfortunately it was the wrong one. Now, you assumed that Southern Belle had eaten the tainted feed and didn't realise that anything had gone wrong until you called out Sergeant Croydon the next morning.
On a rather flimsy pretext. In retrospect, you could have wanted me there as a witness when you discovered your wife's horse dead in its stall.
And there's Tanya on hand for a convenient arrest.
So, Mr. Vandenberg, would you like to comment?
Thanks for your help, Mr. Vandenberg.
Well, we didn't really expect a full-blown confession, did we?
No, but it would have been nice.
Well, where and how it all fits. The only problem is why.
What about Johnny's insurance fraud theory?
No, the guy's loaded.
What we need are the autopsy results. Actually, Nick, did you get on to Richard?
No, it's my boss turn
Oh,
off.
we should get on to that.
Yeah, I'll go.
Oh, how'd you go at the bank?
Amelia's in good shape. Very good shape. Best year yet, apparently.
Great news for her. Not much good for us.
Nick, how'd you go with that list of competitors?
The most criminal records could come up with was a couple of unserved traffic offences.
Oh, brilliant. Chris really got her wires crossed on this one.
Well, that's not like her. Not like her at all.
Oh, look, you know, if I ratted on all my customers, I'd be broke myself within the week.
Celia's not broke. We just want to know whose turn she is.
I just hear these things in passing. I don't write them down.
Come on, Chris. As a friend, please.
Oh, look, it serves me right for talking to a couple of cops in the first place, doesn't it? Let me think. It was last week. I know it was a table by the door, and it was writing people Jacinta Johnson and the treasurer guy, David Lawrence. I had to laugh because he said it was in the strictest confidence, and Jacinta's got the biggest mouth in Mount Thomas.
So David told Jacinta that Celia had financial problems.
Well, he made it sound like she was about to skip the country. You know, said it explained why she'd been such a waste of space as club president for the last few months.
Anything else?
Oh, that there'd been an extraordinary general meeting and some vote of no confidence. You know, just the general boring committee stuff. No one else would be interested.
Yeah, Celia? Yeah, it's Constable Cooper here. Yeah, that bucket of hoof dressing that the money was in, can you describe it to me, please?
Well done. Where'd you find it?
David Lawrence's shed.
Internal examination revealed advanced colic, resulting in a twisted gut. The horse would have been in extreme pain, and humane destruction was the only option.
Remind me to keep my mouth shut next time I get a bellyache, because one of you blokes is likely to put a bullet through it.
Listen to this bit. Further examination found the gut, intestine and bowel to be completely obstructed by a large quantity of wheat flour, which had swelled during the digestive process. This was, without doubt, what caused the colic.
Well, how much flour is a large quantity?
About 2 kilos is dangerous for a horse, Richard said, particularly if it's fed prior to an 80k endurance
2
race.
kilos. Vandenberg could have taken that from home. His wife wouldn't have thought twice about it.
Well, she would have thought it'd be weird if you packed it in the suitcase.
True. He could have picked it up on his way to the stables, but then there wouldn't have been that many shops open at that time of the night, would there?
Well, we checked them all and nobody remembers Vandenberg.
So just ordinary flour?
Yep, why?
Well, Jenny was having a whinge this morning about the lid being off the flour bin, said the rats had got in. But Chris keeps a pretty clean pub. I mean, there wouldn't be rats there.
Oh, I don't know. I think there's a rat, all right. Vandenberg staying at the pub, he could have helped himself to that flour any time he wanted. He was there at the stables that night. There was flour in Southern Bell's bucket, and everyone else has an alibi. So we're going to get him?
Without further ado, the winner of the lightweight section of the 1996 Mount Thomas Challenge is Kirsten Vandenberg. Congratulations, Kirsten.
Oh, wow.
There we go.
Thank you. Oh, firstly, I'd like to thank my beautiful horse, Southern Belle.
I'd stick around if I were you.
I'd also like to thank the organisers of the race and everyone else who made this possible, especially my amazing husband, who always gives me such wonderful
Ferdinand
support.
Vandenberg, you're under arrest for criminal damage and aggravated cruelty. I must inform you, you are not obliged to say or do anything, but that anything you say or do may be used in evidence against you. Do you understand?
Mrs. Vandenberg would like a word with her husband.
Darling, don't worry about a thing. I'm going to sue the whole damn police force. I've rung Garth Hopkins. He's on his way.
Fine. When he gets here, tell him my lawyer will be in contact with the paperwork.
What paperwork?
I'm divorcing you.
You can't do that.
Stop telling me what to do. You lied to me. You pretended to support me, and the whole time you were scheming behind my back. I can't believe that you want to kill Belle. You know how important she is
Yes,
to
I
me.
know! I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of following you and that wretched horse all over the countryside. I'm tired of hotels and stables and mud. I'm tired of you saying just one more race and then you'll give it up. I mean, what about what's important to me? What about our home? What about starting a family, for Christ's sakes?
You may as well leave me the property. You'd be much happier in the city.
No. You walk out on me, I swear you will not get a cent.
You're not going to leave me destitute, Ferdy. Not with our baby to support. I was leaving it as a surprise till after the race. This really would have been the last one, Ferdy.
Kirsten, please.
Well, it all seems to be here, Tom. Can I take it now?
Well, we don't want to keep Save the Children waiting for their donation, do we? Not after all the trouble it took to get it.
Well, to tell you the truth, I'd given up on this. I was going to cover it myself. I can afford it, you know.
Yes, Celia, I'm well aware of that.
You'll receive a summons in due course. You're free to go.
You're the last person he deserves any sympathy from, Celia.
Yeah, well, how can I ever thank you all?
Don't organise any more endurance races.
I'll need to find myself a new treasurer. Can't tempt you away from Rotary, I suppose.
Not a hope.
Pity.
So, Maisie, coming for a drink later?
Oh, look, Dash, I'm pretty whacked, thanks.
Come on, we've got some serious celebrating to do.
Why?
Johnny's last day.
So it is.
And that means PJ will be back next week.
Oh, really?
Don't sound so thrilled. I am personally ready to get down and kiss his feet.
Yeah, he'd probably like
You don't
that.
appreciate what you've got till it's gone.
I suppose he's all right for a D.
Well, at least you can hold a relatively intelligent conversation with him. And he's quite cute, don't you think?
You reckon?
And he's good at his job.
Thank you, girls, and I can assure you the feeling's quite mutual.
Gee, Johnny, bummer.
Your last day.
You remembered?
We wouldn't forget.
So, what are you doing later?
Who? Me or Dash or both of us?
Well, there's two of you and one of me. I wouldn't want you fighting over me after I'm gone. We go back to my place, get some food, bottle of vodka, candlelight. Imagination runs wild, doesn't it? Anything could happen. Ah, Maggie.
That sounds great, mate, but I got to tell you, I don't kiss on the first date.
No. Oh, well, goodbye, Johnny, and welcome back, PJ. You two having a fight or something?
Yeah. Could say that.
You've been stewing about it all this time.
No, of course I haven't.
Maggie, you can't help but notice the way that you've been. I mean, you wince every time someone says his name. Well, what's going on?
Absolutely nothing.
If it was nothing,
Look,
then...
Dash, I've got other things on my mind at the moment. Like, whether I'm going to give up my law studies or keep going with it and try and find myself another tutor. PJ is honestly the very last thing on my mind.
You gonna come down for a drink?
Look, I've forgotten a few things here, so I might sort that out and maybe come down later.
Yeah. See ya. See ya.